Up My Street, the alternative touring in 2020. Let's roll. Welcome to the final episode of Up My Street, a 4-part online series brought to you by Greenwich Dance, featuring some of their favourite artists. My name is Sarah, and over the past 3 weeks I've brought you interviews and brand new dance films from artists such as Zoe Golding from Zoe Logic Dance Theatre, from Temujin Gill from Grounded Movement, and the wonderful Matthew Jeffrey from Rendezvous Dance. And today we're bringing you our 4th and final Up My Street artist, and her name is Sarah Blanc. Yes, I interviewed myself. Let's have a look. Hello Sarah, and welcome to Up My Street, the Greenwich Dances online TV show. Delighted that you're able to join me here in Walthamstow. Phenomenal in all of your Instagram pictures. Oh Sarah, thank you so much. Yes, for all these episodes I have been wearing different items of my wardrobe. I think it's been nice, being in lockdown, can wear my clothes. So that's been quite cool. This is a sparkly number. I brought it just for you, Sarah, because I know that you like some sparkles. Bit of a magpie, aren't you? Well, I love it. And I really appreciate that you're wearing sparkles just for me. So what were you supposed to be doing for the Up My Street tour around Greenwich? So yes, I was supposed to be the presenter for Greenwich Dances Up My Street, the tour. And I was, really sad at the thought of it not happening. Well, it's awesome that you're still involved. So tell us a little bit about the dance film that you have been commissioned to make. So I was working with Lotus, which is the youth company of Greenwich Dance, and I was working with Ditmot, which is Dance to the Music of Time, and that's the over 55s group of Greenwich Dance. Cool. So what was the process like? So the process was really cool, actually. I suppose like anybody in this process, it was very different to anything I've done before. So we worked on Zoom like I would, like a residency. Every day we had a workshop. So the first 2 days I worked with both the groups separately. And then for the last 3 days, I worked with both the groups together on Zoom. And it was pretty mental at times. I came with a few questions. One of the questions was, at this time, I want you to know. And then I got each of the groups to pair up with somebody else in the group, and they all private messaged each other. And it was so beautiful how they were talking to each other, and it made it really real that this is happening, and both generations have a very different take on what's happening. Their worries are different, and that was so nice how they're both kind of really supporting each other and looking out for each other. So that was really nice. So we had these poems, and then from that they made duets. And again, they just pinned each other on the video and danced to each other. So that was really nice. And then they all had a separate camera filming themselves. They had another device where they're in the Zoom with me. And that's how we did it, really. It was, pretty cool. And what was the biggest challenge, do you think, about making the piece in this way? I think the biggest challenge, but also the nicest surprise of this process and working with two different generations, was that it made the whole process universal. What's happening in the world right now is so universal. The whole world, everyone can connect to what's happening. And in our little windows in Zoom, we had people over 55, and we had people no older than 18, all talking to each other about what is happening to them in their lives. And I suppose the biggest challenge is just making sure that I was giving justice to both the sides of their stories. God, you're so good. We had a few technical problems where some people's Zooms freezing, or we're setting off to do an improv, everyone would press record, and then somebody's camera would go, so everyone had to go back and stop recording, but everyone had to hear that, so just, and people's delays on cameras. So it was quite comical. Like, I think anyone who was in the room watching would have, it would have been quite funny to work like this before. We were making it up as we go along, everyone was, so that was fun. Well done. Well, I'm really excited to see the film. Should we have a look at it now together? Let's go for it, yeah. Let's do it. Enjoy. Okay, I want everyone to start off camera. Group 1, enter. that was amazing. I mean, obviously the participants were incredible, but I could just see you all over that. That was just, yeah, I'm very proud of it, I think. And I really hope that everybody who's involved is proud of it as well, because I think it was a real escape for us all that week to be together. Yeah, well done. What's one thing you think that you've learned about yourself through the creation of the film? Oh my God, that's quite a big question. I suppose I've learned that humans are very adaptable creatures, and that when things need to change, we are able to do that. And just to remember how together we can be, because last week working together was just so beautiful, how we all just came, everyone supported each other, and we've created something really lovely. You're amazing, Sarah. Jeez. Sarah, yeah. Stop it. I know you like the film, but stop it. God, you're embarrassing me. I'm blushing and I'm wearing an orange dress. It does not You're incredible. Oh, God. So I want to know all about you. I want to know your inspirations, where you've come from, like what you're doing. Who are you, Sarah? You've got Moxie Brawl, and you said you did solo work. Actually, it's award-winning solo work. Award-winning solo work. Sorry. So you do Moxie Brawl and award-winning solo work. Can you tell us a little bit about the work? So outside of this film, I am a performer and choreographer, or so I call myself. I've also started doing a little bit of stand-up, which has been fun. And I make solo work on myself, and also work on my company called Moxie Brawl, which is an all-female inclusive dance theatre company, as well as shoving myself out and working with lots of different artists as a movement director and choreographer and teacher. Incredible. What are your inspirations when you're making work? So the one thing I really think about when I'm making work is audience. So there's two things I always think about. One is my mum, because she's someone who does not go to the theatre, doesn't really have that natural inkling to go there, doesn't feel very welcome to go just to walk into the theatre or comfortable. So I always make work for her, and will she like this? Will she understand this? And then I also, for all my Moxie Brawl works, they're all accessible to deaf audiences. So, and also they've got disabled and non-disabled artists performing in them. And for me, that's really important to making art accessible to everyone in whatever accessible means. It's such a dirty word these days, but it's important to me that the work I make can be seen by everyone. There's not many artists who are out there at the moment, like really pushing the boat out, and I'm just... You're doing that for people, and I think that's just... Sarah, you need to calm down. I'm going to just ask you what's next. What's next for Sarah Blanc? This what next question is always really tricky, because obviously we don't know what's next, really, do we? But I'm going to stay positive, and I've got quite a few cool things coming up. I'm an Evolve artist at Oxford Playhouse for 2021, which is really cool. And at that time, I'm going to be developing a new solo show called Council State Princess. And that's going to be looking at otherness, fitting in, and acceptance. Oh, there's another word in my blurb, I can't remember right now. So that's really cool. And I'll also be creating and premiering the Punk Alley, which is a new family show, which I'm very, very excited about doing. And then outside of my own work, I'm working with an artist called Dan Daw. I'm doing movement direction on his new show, which again has also been postponed till the end of the year, start of next year. So I'm really excited to get back in the studio with him. I miss him a lot. Yeah, it's really brilliant, really inspiring for me anyway, as an artist, to see someone who I can almost see myself in, and I can recognize myself in doing something that I feel is this inspiring. So yeah, cool. And if people want to find out about where you are or what you're doing, how do they do that? Well, Sarah, you want to get in touch with me? Well, what you've got to do is you've got to get on the Instagrams, on the Facebooks, on the Twitters. I've got Instagram accounts for Moxie Brawl and for Sarah Blanc, and then Twitter the same. Facebook, it's only Moxie Brawl. But do get in touch. And my website is www.sarahblanc.com.
Every week, each of the Up My Street artists has brought a task that you can do at home. Sarah, what have you got planned for us?
So the task I have for you all to do at home is, I want you to turn your camera onto mirror view, and I want you to create a 30-second film where you're just framing the picture around you. And I want you to play with the framing, and I also want you to play with the being really close and really far away from the camera. 30 seconds of that. Please, you can dance to whatever music you want. Fab. Let's get to it. Woo-hoo.
Now, Greenwich Dance has been really enjoying all of your videos that you've been sending in, so keep doing that on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Greenwich Dance using the hashtag #UpMyStreet, and we'll continue to share all of your dancing. So, this is it. This is the end of our Up My Street series. It's been an absolute pleasure. I feel like the luckiest woman alive to be here with you each week. First of all, I want to thank all of the artists for all of your beautiful work and also for joining me and talking to me over Zoom. I also want to thank all of you who took part in all of the dance films. You're all beautiful and stunning. And I want to thank you at home for watching. Without you, this would not have been as much fun. We've loved all of your lovely responses and your comments. So thank you so, so much. So I think this is it. You're going to leave me in my little flat, and I'll see you on the flip side. Goodbye.
That was incredible. Sam, did you hear that? That was just, wow.